Hi Vinyl community, this is Chris on the Vinyl Transmission channel, and I'm here with a Françoise Hardy update. It's going to have 5 12-inch LPs and a couple of singles that we're going to look at, and I'm going to tell you about what the Françoise Hardy videos look like in the future, and just show some amazing records here. We're going to start in order. We're going to start in 1969, 1970, and then we're going to go all the way up to 2004, is it? With all vinyls. A couple of singles along the way, and it should be pretty amazing because I have more than 20 Françoise Hardy records. That's my single most popular video that I've done on YouTube, which is really cool, considering that's really not how I got into talking about records on YouTube, which is fantastic. So the first record that I want to show is this one, and this is probably my favorite of the 5 incredible LPs I'm going to show you. This is just well, I think my shoulders just went up because that's how much I really like this record. And this is a Canadian edition, I think. It's the second edition. The way that you know that it's the second edition is because of the line going around it. I was really lucky to get this copy. Let me nerd out just on the discography details for a second, because I'll show you why. So this is a promo copy, and usually this thing is stuck to this, and it covers up this incredible photograph by this really photographic artist who we're going to talk about in this video, because the records I'm going to show really show the end of an era with the photographer and her music, and in just and a new beginning, and it's going to be pretty cool. This album consists of 6 songs on each side, and the first 3 songs are written by a songwriting team of Mickey Jones and Tommy Brown. And Mick Jones would later go on to become Foreigner, and Foreigner is a band that I think is very well known and has some incredible songwriting, and that is, to say the least, what he pulls off here. So anyway, I was glad to have this not glued to the front and be able to have the song titles and everything here. This is the sleeve that it's in. So it's all in English. The first 3 songs are the 3 songs that are written by that songwriting team of Mick Jones. And man, are they suited to her material like you just can't believe. They're absolutely amazing. Those 3 songs in a row are just a stunning, we're looking at side 1, and they're just a stunning way to open the album. Song of Winter, Magic Horse, and Strange Shadows, going into All Because of You, and then a song called Suzanne, and number 6 is the Soon is Slipping Away. Let me talk about tracks 5 and 6, because those are extraordinary tracks. The song Suzanne by Leonard Cohen, you probably know that song. It's a really definitive song for Leonard Cohen, and it's a song that I've loved of his. To hear her sing it is pretty amazing, and my take on it is that the song Suzanne is about a girl like Françoise. So to hear her sing it is just absolute ecstasy. Soon is Slipping Away is written by a guy named, oh, we're going to have to look it up, Tony McCauley. I should have trusted myself. Tony McCauley. He wrote a song that you probably have heard called Build Me Up Buttercup. and some a lot of other surprising material. But he definitely wrote a Françoise Hardy song, and it's called "Soon Is Slipping Away." I noticed it's not even on his Wikipedia page, which lists all of his many other credits. Tony Macaulay, we'll put it right there. And but damn, he wrote a great Françoise Hardy song. It's called "Soon Is Slipping Away." Phenomenal. And side 2 is where the album kind of really delivers on the theme of Alone, where that word and that imagery comes up again and again. And Alone, the one verse that's sticking out at me is, "I just want to be alone with you." And that pause and the addition is just so definitive. So again, I said, on side 1 you have Suzanne, which is this song that is just so perfectly suited for her, and this sort of thematic consolidation of her poetry on side 2, and it does end with the song "Midnight Blues." Absolutely amazing. Okay, so like I said, the first album was my favorite, so that's why I went on so exceedingly about it. So we're going to go through some amazing records here in the 70s, and 2 of these are reissues that are brand new, and then there's a couple that are, one that is just super rare, that is the most recent one, that'll end the video, and then one that sort of ends the era of J.M. Perrier, and excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, because the guy is just an amazing photographer, and we're going to see an amazing evolution of the albums as we go through these couple of records with you. So this is on the Sonopresse label. So the reissues I mentioned are from the full-length LPs that are from this time period. This is an amazing single. I really don't know the history of this first song, but it is incredible. The tempo, I'm pretty sure, has been increased dramatically from what most people usually do the song on her version, and it's really, really special. The other song, which is written by Françoise with, it has Mickey Jones and Tommy Brown again. It's just a beautiful song. There's the record label. And if there were a SETI mission for a 7-inch into space to save the world, it would have to be this. Just because it's got so much life in it. In addition, it actually has her autograph on the back, and another beautiful photograph by that same photographer. The last album that I'm going to show here as we progress is from 1974, and it'll have the last photograph that he did of the cover, and that's really a cool piece. So let's go into the first reissue, and this is it. It's on 180 gram vinyl. It was originally on the Sonopresse label, and this is on Parlophone Warner Music. Here she is teamed with a guitar player named Tuca, and who has a Brazilian acoustic guitar style. I'm not sure if it's nylon string. It kind of sounds like that. And beautiful songs. It's kind of serious in that romantic Spanish austere kind of way. It's a really lovely record. It's more sober. I really like it, and they did a fantastic job with the reissue. It sounds great. Super happy with it because this is a hard record to find, and in good condition is an expensive record. Okay, so I showed this in my Françoise Hardy video, my first one, but this is a single from that album, and it continues the photographic session that you can see from the other single. So very cool. The next album is another reissue, and this really has stunned me with how great it is. And I had a fun kick learning about the guitar player who caught my ear before I caught his name. This is the album, and it shows, this is another photograph by the same guy. Now let me pop in here, I guess it would be the album before this called Soleil, which has, again, you can see the photographer move from a traditional portraiture into these more effects driven. So in fact, here's the front of Soleil, and now we're going to see the back of Soleil. And I sure hope they reissue that one, because that's the same deal. You know, it's too expensive to find a nice copy of it. And so hopefully they'll do that. Same record label, same period. Presumably they bought the rights to all of it. We can only hope. And so this album has a very, to my ear, a Rolling Stones-ish feel to it. It's got a swagger, and it's very down-tempo, but it's really got a sexy kind of swagger. Now, I mentioned Tuca, the guitar player, who had a real distinctive style, who made his imprint there on the La Question album. This one has a beautiful imprint from this guitar player, whose name is Jerry Donahue. And he sounds like a Telecaster style player. He's known as like the king of bending strings. And it really caught my ear because I was hearing these beautiful passages on the record that just sounded like an orchestra. They sounded like steel string. They sounded like beautiful electric guitar playing. And it's an electric guitar playing, making sounds that make you feel all of those things. And it was kind of cool because once I paid attention to that and said, let me look up who that guitar player is, I had an album by him, which surprised me, which he has an album with two other guitar slingers, studio guys who are just amazing guitar players, called the Hellcasters. And I don't have that right here in front of me, or else I would show it. But I'm going to open the gatefold here now, and because there's a great series here that kind of shows the creative process, I guess, for her, which is pretty hilarious, and really cool pictures. Maybe we'll do a quick little slideshow there. Okay, so this is the End of the Era album that I was telling you about. This album, I think, is mentioned in the band Air as being really a model for the sound of them. I did see Air live. Seeing them live and comparing to this album, I don't know. It was a long time ago. But this is the end of an era. This is the last one that this photographer did for her. You can kind of see the progression. They're more and more obscure in terms of her imagery. This one is called, that's the title. And so this is the year that her son was born. And so I think it was 4 years, three or 4 years at least before her next album came out. I'm going to change the record and we'll talk about the rest of the record, and we'll finish up. So this is a library copy of this record, and it's the drums on it have really a modern sound that is unlike anything that appears on her records before, where it's sort of it's a compressed sound, it's a modern sound, and then the instrumentation is more on a a jazz with a little Moog feel. But the musicianship isn't super great on it. It's a little stiff, but the mood is there, and it's a very cool record. I'm really glad to have it. I don't think I showed the label before. And the next record that she did 3 or 4 years later, called Star, has a different photographer on the cover, and is a whole different era. That is, takes on a different direction. In the 70s, leading up to the era that I just love from her, the 80s, her Flair-Nosh years, which is basically 1980 to 1990. I talk about that a lot in my first Françoise Hardy video. And so that leads me to the last album I'm going to show you, which I didn't even think, honestly, may have not even existed until I got that little, Google alert that told me that there was one for sale in the world somewhere. And so now I have it. And it's one of her latest records to be pressed on vinyl. I guess it's her second to last, is the way I want to say it. And it really combines the darkness and the serious of some of her last records. She's still alive, but I don't think she's going to put out any more records. And it combines that feel, that real dark feel, with somehow that real happiness and the 80s keyboard-driven, melodic, amazing, classic 80s feel. And it's got just some super great riffs on it. Super great just catches with her singing and the melodies. The album that we're listening to is the one with the two faces, by the way. So that's what you hear playing in the background. This is the inner sleeve to that record, the title of which is Being in the Rain Without an Umbrella, would be the American, the English translation. Isn't that a gorgeous inner sleeve? And then all the lyrics. It's on black vinyl. My next Françoise Hardy video will be within about 30 days, and it's going to be my Françoise Hardy want list. And so it's going to be a kind of a fun adventure through a vinyl collector's want list, because this would be my want list taking me from about record number 25 to record number 30. So there are some real special records that I have my sights set on. So subscribe, share. Love talking to you guys about this, whether you're into my other videos, which, if you haven't figured out, are heavy metal, and some of them are psychedelic, and some of them are weird little projects of mine. So it all works here on the Vinyl Transmission channel. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please leave a comment or ask any questions. It's all about sharing this music and sharing this energy with each other. So be well, and thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.